Happy days.
Okay, cool. Hi there, guys. This is James from Unique Results, and this is going to be a fairly short video today. We're going to do about 15 or 20 minutes talking with Shane, who is going to be running all of our nutrition for the whole of 2026, starting from January. Now, this is going to be quite brief because I know some of you, would like just quick information, but I know lots of you. We did do a Health Oddity podcast with Shane a few weeks ago, which is about an hour long. So that goes into obviously a lot more detail about Shane's background and his backstory, and also nutrition. So if you want to have more information, then I'd really recommend you go and watch or listen the Health Oddity podcast we did with Shane. But yeah, what I'm going to do to begin with then is just hand over really to Shane and just ask a little bit about his background. Why you guys are so lucky to have him working with us for the next year, and yeah, just a little bit about him and his background and his company, Quantum Nutrition, and what they do. And then we're also today going to talk about what level of service you guys are going to get over the next year with Shane, how that's going to help you, what service you're going to get, what results you can expect, and basically just a little bit more about how it's all going to work. So, Shane, welcome today.
Happy days. You've made me go all red now.
No
I
problem at
appreciate
all.
the super kind intro.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we've been people. Some people have already listened to the podcast and they're really, really excited already. So it's really, really nice. So, but yeah, for those people who haven't listened to the podcast, who maybe have and are watching this as well, yeah, a bit about yourself and your background in nutrition. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's no problem at all. So I'll try and keep it condensed because I've been in the nutrition world for probably about God, what will it be now? About 16 years if you include the studies and things like that. So probably a bit too much to go into today, but at the same time, it started off really when I was doing my undergraduate degree. And one of the modules that I picked was nutrition, and then in the final year we had to do a dissertation. And what the students generally did was they did like it could be like a fitness testing thing, but the participants were like other students. And there were loads of similar types of projects to that. And I'm one of these people that's like, even with, I know I own a business today, so it was all pointless. But when I was working, I was always trying to do unique things so that on your CV, like you're the guy that stands out against the other 40 applicants or whatever. So when I was doing the undergraduate degree, I basically approached there was like one of the principal lecturers there, and he was the manager of the British climbing team, or sorry, the junior British climbing team. And he said, as long as you take it seriously, we'll allow you free reign over a nutrition project using them as participants. So I was the only one that year that was working with athletes. And some of these were competing in, like European championships and things like that. So it was like a massive privilege at the time. And I was really into rock climbing as well. So I was just like in awe of these like 12, 10, 8-year-old boys and girls that are just like a ferret up a drain pipe, just like unbelievable athletes. And there's me thinking I was all right. All these kids are like absolutely miles ahead before we even start. So that started it really, interest wise in nutrition, and then one of the lecturers recommended that I went on to study with the International Olympic Committee, so I did that for 2 years. Um, and then that was sort of like 80% of a master's degree. So the other sort of 20% top up module was again like a dissertation, but at like a master's level, and I worked with an amateur champion boxer that was just turning professional. So basically, it was like weight making. So essentially, weight loss. There's loads of crossovers from that to what we'll be doing. We essentially want to retain muscle tissue and lose weight, and predominantly from body fat. So guess what we're going to be doing? That sort of thing. There's loads of crossovers there. And then I'm about midway through my doctoral research as well. But it's on pause at the minute because I've got 3 young kids and I don't want to be missing out on nativity plays and them falling off the sofa and anything really. So that's like the background educationally, and then sort of practically speaking, I've worked with thousands of people, I've worked with celebrities and things like that. We used to work with I don't know if anybody of you know them, but there was one like Lucy Mack from uh, I'll have to say the right one. The Only Way is Essex. and she's
Oh,
got like
the name rings a bell. Yeah, I'm sure some of the ladies would know.
yeah.
But it's a bit sexist. I'm sure some of the ladies would know. I don't
Yes,
really know.
it's
Yeah.
like B and C list celebrities and stuff like that, but they've got their own app and things. So we did a bit of work with them, with football teams, rock climbers, marathon runners, triathletes, boxers, so loads of athletes. But the biggest bulk of work that I've done really is working with the general population, and it always starts off as weight loss. So of course we're definitely going to be working with that, no problem. But weight loss is like the gateway thing to the other 99.9% of the benefits to nutrition. And once you start getting results, you also start going, oh, do you know what? My energy levels are better. Oh, my sleep's better, my recovery's better, I'm getting stronger, I'm getting fitter, I'm getting this, I'm getting this, and so on. And it's like a domino effect. So there's loads of different things that we're going to be working on going forward, and pulling on all of that experience with thousands of people. And I'll do all the boring reading of the research articles, so you don't have to, in a nutshell.
And I posted a thing yesterday because I just got these new Hume Health Tracker kind of scales that we're going to have at the gym. And the ones I've got at the moment were quite cheap, and I've had them for years. These were a lot more expensive, and I was quite impressed because it ties in with what you're saying, whereby it wasn't you have the app on your phone and it gives you all the metrics. And we've had a guy on, we've done DEXA scan podcasts before and things, and but it wasn't like the weight wasn't the main metric. It was like it had like your body composition, your hydration, and like your muscle, and then it gave you like a kind of a biological age versus your. But the weight almost was. I had to kind of really look. Well, what do I weigh? It wasn't like this is your weight. This is the most important thing. So I think from what you've said already about the need to increase or maintain muscle mass, while we're training, and then if we get some fat loss, that's a bonus, but we're not just trying to lose weight at any cost, because obviously you can
Yeah.
drop a lot of weight and you'll drop muscle, you'll drop water, you'll drop bone, you'll drop a little bit of fat, but most of it will, if you're doing it super quick, most of it's going to come from your other kind of lean tissue as well. So I think that's really, really important that people understand that, isn't it?
I think as well on that as well. There'll probably be a few people listening going, no, but I really want to lose weight though. It's that this the thing, right? Weight loss is important, but within its own arena, it's not important for other things. The other things, what we're going to be doing is working simultaneously on both of those things, and losing weight in the way that's going to be most preferable for you, for your body composition results, your energy levels, your performance, your because like you said, I get a bit working with boxers as a prime example. They just lose a shed load of weight in a short space of time. Guess what happens to their performance? They're shot to pieces. Whereas if they do it the way, again, I'm not saying I'm right on everything, but I'm right on this one. If they do it the way that I say, like the boxer that I worked with, and we worked with them for like 13, 14 weeks leading up to the fight, not like 4 weeks or something, that you can just chip away at it, and it's so easy. And because you're chipping away, you can target much more effectively fat loss and not weight loss. They will both happen at the same time, but what I'm saying is the weight that you're losing is from the correct areas, because we don't want you losing muscle mass at the same time. If you do it really quickly, you lose muscle mass and body fat, and that's when we start getting to you get on the scales. So you go in your head, oh, I want to be 78 kilograms or whatever it is, and you get there and you go, but I don't look how I want to look though, because you haven't worked on the body composition whilst you're losing the weight. So these are all the different things that you don't know unless you're told. And we just don't want you to feel as though you should be at the finish line. You're like halfway there because now you've got to work on the body composition again now.
Yeah, this is great. So in terms of what you're actually, like I say, we've committed to work with you for the whole year, for the next 12 months, for the whole of 2026 with all the members. And on a practical level, kind of what are the members going to get sort of from you and your business?
Yeah.
Just so they kind of know, because we've had lots of questions coming in.
Well, there's a whole host of stuff, so I don't want to overwhelm you. But if I'll try and put it in like simple terms, there's two main sections. There's like the educational bit, and that's where this sort of the modules, the video modules that we've created for you, that's where they come in. And some people are going to go through those really quickly, and some people are going to want to take their time. People have got different commitments in the background. They've got, varying degrees of free time and things like that. So I don't want anybody to feel as though they're like falling behind or something. It's not, it's just never the case. Everybody just goes through at their own pace, and everything that you learn, you probably will go, I've watched that video, and I've watched, I'm 3 videos in on the the diamond modules, for example, and I've got loads of questions to ask about that. So that's the learning element, the modules. But the interactive element, what we want to do is surround you with support, so that we're not just sending you something and go like, just get on with it. You're not getting any help or support or anything. We're going to surround you with the interactive support as well. So we'll be in the Facebook group. You can tag me anytime in the group, ask the questions in there. And what generally happens is you'll get like 7 or 8 questions, but there'll be 3 or 4 of the other members that are maybe possibly a bit shy, or they feel a bit silly reaching out about a topic, but one of the other members has actually asked that question. So everybody wins, if you get me. So it's a really nice way of doing things so that everybody wins. Also, we'll be doing nutrition challenges, so making sure that we're focusing on a specific area of nutrition and really getting that dialed in for, again, depending on the challenge, it could be 7 days, could be 10 days, 14 days, but a relatively nice and short and sweet answer to a nutrition problem, and we all work together to go. So let's say if it's like let's say if it's a protein challenge or something like that, everybody just works on hitting their protein numbers every single day of the week, and you get as much help as possible to solve that one thing. So in theory, if we do like one of those every sort of, let's say, 5 weeks, roughly on average, there's 10 areas of your nutrition over the year that are going to be absolutely tip top and dialed in. Also, we'll be doing presentations, basically, just like this. So I'll in the first half of the presentations, I'll be obviously presenting, of course, on different topics of nutrition, and then generally the latter half of the presentations, we have a bit of a Q&A, so we can just have a bit of a laugh and catch up and like talk to me about what's been going on, and any challenges you're having, any solutions that we need to create for you. And then guess what happens over the following week? The Facebook group gets populated with all those solutions. So it's all very much listening to you, surrounding with your support. Excuse me. And then in the nicest way possible, nipping at your heels a little bit as well. Because sometimes, I'm a nutritionist and I need it sometimes. It's like, no, I think you can do a little bit more here. I'm going to make sure, I'm going to keep my eye on you. This next week, I want you to be hitting those protein numbers. Don't be 20, 30 grams off. We've talked about this. We know exactly what to do. There'll be a little bit of that as well. But we'll do it because we love you and we want your results.
Just so if you're watching this, obviously, or listening, well, you will be watching, I think. So Shane is going to be, I think he's already in both of the Facebook groups. We have 2 Facebook groups. We've got the kind of the general kind of members group, and then the Fit for Life group. So Shane is actually in both of those Facebook groups now. So once we start, you can type in there. You can ask him questions in the group. And also when Shane does the presentations and the Q&As, you will all get invited to join in with those as well, which is great. And then in terms of who was it who asked me something else the other day? Yeah, because when we were in lockdown years ago, like 2020, 2021 or whatever it was, I did a video every single day from home for everyone. And we did like an accountability challenge where people would pick what they needed to improve or work on, and then the group and me would just hold them to account, for these things. And someone the other day, we were chatting this, said, I remember when we did that. That was really, really good. That would be really good if we could do some more stuff like that, because it was just that time where everyone was sat at home. It might have been people needed to do more steps, or people needed to drink more water, or people needed to, build a better sleep, nighttime habit schedule before going to bed, whatever. So I think this is going to be really good, and people really responded and resonated well to that kind of challenge and that accountability. So it's going to be really positive, I think.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And the biggest thing that I'd say is I want everybody to see this as like a 50-50 sort of relationship. So, I'm always going to be there, always. I'm always going to be available. I'm always going to be able to help you with tools and solutions. This sort of your half is the picking up the tools and getting to work with it. And also not just that, it's genuinely sharing the challenges that you encounter as well, because it's completely normal, but nobody wants to like open up and say, I've had a really crap week. It's been difficult. My sleep's been bad. My son's ill at the minute. My schedule's out and I've really not stuck to this, that, and the other. When you do that, that's where we can help you the most because you've reached out about it. And we can just surround you with personalized solutions then. Um, but again, sometimes we can't help until you reach out and let us know if that makes sense. So, there's a bit of I suppose, an unwritten rule where it's like I'll be supporting you in the approach that we're going to be delivering. And then on top of that, anybody that reaches out to Shane, I need help with this and that and this and that. I'm also going to be helping with that, but I can't help with it unless you reach out with it, if that makes sense. So from that point onwards, happy days. We can just ride off into the sunset with ridiculous results, guns blazing.
Excellent. So in terms of you've got the diamond modules, which are at sort of 23, I think, short kind of 10-minute video
Yeah,
education modules. And what we're going to do, so people who are watching, they're going to be stored, I think, within the Facebook group. I think is what we're going to do. But also they're going to be Steph's going to be putting them into the app, the Gym OS app that we use, because some people, Facebook's easy to access on your phone for most people, and easy to watch videos, but for few people aren't on Facebook. So you'll also get those within the app, so you can access them there. And then there's also the master classes as well, isn't there? That we've signed up for. So do you
yeah.
want to tell us about the master classes?
Yeah, absolutely. These are more sort of more unique topics that. So let's say in the diamond modules, that's like the core curriculum, if you like. So that's the bit that everybody goes through, everybody benefits from. But obviously within nutrition, we've got specific topics that isn't necessarily applicable to everybody, but is really important to certain people. So we've got like, let's say if you're following a vegan diet, there's lots of challenges associated with that. So we created a vegan masterclass so that you can optimize your nutrition, even following a vegan approach. We have the menopause masterclass. We've got the sleep nutrition masterclass. We've got the habit stacking challenge. If let's say if you get back from holiday or something, you just really want to accelerate those results and just chip away at some weight loss to get it in the bag to get back to where you were. Something like that can be fantastic. So there's loads of different specific topics that we've covered, and you can access them as you wish. Again, if the other thing is obviously if you're not following a vegan diet, it might not be that applicable to you, and that's absolutely fine. But for somebody who is, it's like that's exactly what they need. So the main thing for everybody is to follow the Diamond nutrition modules. So that 23 modules, step by step. That's basically to get you set up for life with nutrition. It goes into some initial results to begin with, and the foundations of nutrition. And then it goes into the psychological elements of nutrition, which is left out all the time, and it's probably one of the most critical elements that isn't discussed. And then the sort of level 3 tier, if you like, once you get towards the end of the program, is all talking about like how to get set up for. It's okay getting results in the bag now for 4 weeks, 16 weeks, 20 weeks. Amazing, fantastic. But I want you set up for 20 years, not 20 weeks. So how do we do that? So that's what the latter portion of the program's about. So I'm really looking forward to getting it out to everybody. And obviously, every step of the way, you've always got me to call upon and say, Shane, can I just ask a quick question on video 16 here? On some of the psychological elements, can you just clarify that? I'll give a better example so that I can understand it more. Amazing, will help. So you're never going to be left on your own out in the wilderness.
Excellent. And then also for the members, we're also from January, the members who are on the pure membership and the group membership, we're assigning you all a kind of accountability coach within the gym as well. So we're aiming to get everybody in January or at the start of January to be kind of checked in and do some starting stats, if you like, so we're all starting the new year. I did some for myself the other day. We're all starting the new year. We know where we're starting from. And one of the other questions was Shane, that a lady asked was, is this all just for people who want to lose weight? Is it all about weight loss? And I think once you've got that education and you can sort of set your goals, you then decide. It's more about, like when we did the podcast, you said you said the tier one or level one is the quantities you may eat of calories. Tier two or the second part is the quality of the food you eat, isn't it? And then that's what really ties in with health. So this is for everyone, isn't it? Not just for people who are looking to lose weight.
No, absolutely. It really is for everybody. So, of course, anybody that wants to lose weight, we're going to be helping with that. However, again, I'm being a bit selfish here, but for me, I would prefer everybody to go, oh, what can nutrition teach us about like the 7,000 other areas of life that you can benefit from? Oh, by the way, one of those is weight loss. I'd prefer it to be that way around, but look, we live in a world where we want results, and some people have tried really hard for years and some in cases decades to get the results. So we do need to prioritize that. However, the byproduct of the weight loss and going through the program is, like I said, the other 7 million benefits. But again, you even just make a short list. It's like, does it help with bone density? Does it help with brain development? Does it help with immunity? Does it help with memory? Does it help with joint health? Does it help with your skin, hair, nails, energy levels? Does it help with, you could just write a list the length of like this whole town, and probably not get a tenth of the way there. So it's not just for weight loss, definitely not. We're going to be
it's like it's mental health, it's mood, it's
everything.
Emotions, it's energy, it's all that kind of thing, isn't it? That people get from it. So this is great, fantastic. So we're kicking off in January, aren't we?
Yes.
When we're starting.
We'll get an exact date agreed. Obviously, we're going to have a catch up over the next couple of days and just thrash out the delivery and the start dates and map out the first probably few months. And yeah, so we'll be starting in the first week of January for sure. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Brilliant. And then you'll also be, like I say, you're going to be in both Facebook groups. So you'll be posting stuff in there yourself, won't you? And things, information and infographics and, any little videos and whatever people need will be going in there for you, which is fantastic. And then the only other thing what was I going to say? Oh, because we've also got a new 6-week Fit for Life challenge that starts in January. And that's a 6-week program. It's really designed for people who are not used to doing a lot of exercise. So maybe they're kind of not confident going to a gym. But I, at the moment, do a kind of an orientation session where I do all the stats and everything with them, and then do a very kind of general kind of talk about like lifestyle habits and a bit about nutrition. But I'm really hoping that what you do, we're going to patch that into that as well. So those people starting that 6-week program will really benefit from everything as well. Yeah.
100%. We can complement that for sure. Definitely.
Brilliant. Cool. I think that is probably enough for today. We've probably been talking for about 20 minutes. Like we said, we don't want to make it too much detail. But if you've enjoyed listening to Shane today and you want more, you're one of these people who likes more information, you like listening to podcasts when you're going out for a walk or driving in the car, go on to listen to the Health Oddity podcast we did. It's only a few weeks back, like 3 or 4 weeks back with Shane. And that's about an hour we did. So it goes into a lot more detail, and you really get to hear more about Shane's sort of philosophy around nutrition and his principles around nutrition as well. But thank you so much, Shane, for joining us today.
You're very, very welcome. Excited to get cracking.
Brilliant. Yes, well done. And we'll see you all in the new year. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care, guys.